Last night we told you about the federal report that uncovered severe cracks in Missouri's foster care system.
Tonight, as we continue our Forgotten in Foster Care series, KOMU8's Matt Dunn looked into what caused those issues and what's being done to fix them.
Yeah, Emily and Noah, deep-rooted technological woes, extreme staff shortages, no formal documentation procedure to determine whether a missing kid had been the victim of labor or sex trafficking. Those are just some of the issues at play here. Now, how the department and other community stakeholders have responded is the topic of our investigation tonight.
When you're talking about a runaway kid, it's like all kids run away. They all get mad at their mom and dad.
To Nanette Ward of the Stop Human Trafficking Coalition of Central Missouri, a runaway foster kid who maybe goes to live with an aunt or a boyfriend in an unapproved but known location is different than a foster kid who is truly missing.
If you say a kid's missing, it's like you just like, oh gosh, what's happened to them? Where are they? We need to find them.
The problem is Missouri's Department of Social Services doesn't have the technical capability in its case management system known as FACES to record the difference between these two scenarios.
It's important to know where kids are.
Representative Sarah Unsecker of St. Louis says DSS made a request back in 2019 to make this $90,000 update to the system. In fiscal year 2020, there was about a $2 million pot of cash left over in the Children's Division field staff and operations budget, but still no fix to the problem. Instead, simmering bipartisan anger.
And they kept blaming, well, we don't have funding. Well, we gave them funding. And so that question, that part of the funding should be taken care of. That part of the issue should be taken care of.
Yeah, we've asked the Office of Administration to move forward and to address that issue, and that is being done.
It could finally be addressed this legislative session as the governor recommends spending $40 million to overhaul the entire FACES system. But Unsecker says it should be done sooner rather than later.
You don't know whether those things are documented well, and whether the next caseworker is really going to know where that child is.
And staffing issues are a major challenge. KOMU8 News obtained a copy of the report in which consulting firm Accenture dissected these staffing issues. We learned that the average Children's Division frontline worker stays only about 6 months to a year. And in August of last year, more than half of supervisors were carrying cases, versus 16% of workers who should have been handling cases but were not.
There's no reason to stay, and they could go, McDonald's is maybe paying more. Literally, that's how low they are paid.
We have, obviously been a very loud voice in support and advocating for the governor's pay plan.
He's pushing for more money for caseworkers this session and toying with other solutions as well.
The utilization of case aides that perhaps do not have to have the education level of a caseworker.
Late last year, DSS also released a 9-page tool to aid caseworkers in determining if a child missing from state custody had been a victim of labor or sex trafficking. No such tool existed before.
It speaks to our own state's lack of awareness. There's just no question that our young people who are without the security of a home or any kind of program, that they are at high risk of being trafficked.
But internal changes within the department do little to address challenges with law enforcement. The report finding that some missing children cases weren't reported to the police, and some police departments didn't take caseworkers' reports.
I was a little startled, a little inquisitive.
Callaway County Sheriff Clay Chisholm said that's not a problem in his county, and in November of 2020, well before the report came out, his department actually changed its policy to transfer the responsibility of missing children cases from its deputies to detectives within its criminal investigations unit.
We're not looking at it as just a runaway kid anymore. We're looking at it as, okay, they may have ran away on their own and they may have ran on their own free will, but now what are they going to get lured into that's going to, lead to just a horrific situation?
Now, tomorrow we'll tell you about a legislative fix that aims to ensure that reports of missing children are taken more seriously by everyone, from police officers to caseworkers, other community partners. We'll also dive into what the Department of Social Services is asking lawmakers for this session to address its challenges. In the studio, Matt Dunn, KOMU8 News.